Thank you for joining us today at our Germany Summer Abroad information session. My name is Karen. Before we start, as we're situated on the St. George campus, we wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and most recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit River. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. In terms of our agenda for this information session, we hope to keep this within an hour. I'm going to start with introductions because we have a number of important people that will be participating in the session. I will also provide an overview of the Summer Abroad program, details about the 2025 Germany program. Our professors, both of them are here, and they're going to be speaking each about their courses, their field trips and projects. We have Aliya, who will be speaking about student experience. Then I'll get to the details in terms of application, how to apply, next steps, deadlines, and any question and answer. So in terms of introductions, my name is Karen. I'm the program manager of Summer Abroad. Joining us will be, and you'll meet them in a few minutes, Professor Ilona Posner, who's teaching the computer science course. We're very fortunate and thankful to have Professor Stefana Gargova, who will be teaching a German studies course as well. Representing our office is Alina. Alina has a couple of roles. She works for our office. She'll be answering some questions in the background, and she is also an on-site assistant for the Germany program. And lastly, we have Aliya. Aliya is a past participant of the Germany program, took the poli-sci course, but will be speaking about her experience. So welcome everybody, and thanks again for participating in this session. Now, just a quick overview of Summer Abroad. We have been around for a very, very long time, since 1972. And this is when we introduced our Siena program. In fact, we are still offering courses based at the University of Siena. So we've been around for a while, and this is really important to note because the model of Summer Abroad has been very successful for very long, for a reason. This whole model does create an amazing and unique experience for students. This is an opportunity for U of T students to gain a full year Y-credit course in only 3 to 4 weeks during the summer. For the Germany program, it'll be exactly 4 weeks, although for some courses such as computer science, there are additional assignments and pre-work, which you'll get more information on shortly. So you complete a Faculty of Arts and Science credit. It does not conflict with the regular academic year. All classes, with the exception of language courses in Germany, they're all in English. This is a U of T course, so it's relevant to the location. Your classrooms become a living textbook. You're not stuck in a lecture hall and then you go back to your residence. You go out to field trips. You really experience the material that you learn through the curriculum. And this is really curated, specifically curated by your professors. The field trips are really thought out. It really is relevant to what you learn. It's a very unique, immersive experience for you. You get immersed in the language, the history, the culture, the art, especially in Berlin, business, politics of the host country. This is taught by U of T faculty. So in Germany, both of the professors offering courses are U of T faculty. And average is about 25 students. So you do have that small class experience. You're going to know each other very well. You're not only your professors, but through field trips, through excursions, even just by living at the same accommodations, you'll really get to know your fellow classmates, and that's really an advantage of our program. And lastly, we have on-site staff for support and on-site events. Arrangements are done through our office, so a lot of the arrangements that you usually get worried about, accommodations, field trips, tickets, buses, all that kind of stuff, are usually organized by our office. As well, we have non-academic on-site staff, such as Alina, who's amazing. And Alina will be staying at the same hotel as most of the students, and is there for emergencies, for support, for guiding excursions. So we want to make sure that you're well-oriented while you're there as well. When you do complete a program, any program within Summer Abroad, you become a global citizen. And now more than ever, it's very important to have this kind of cultural experience. You expand your worldview and not just, living within a bubble and through social media. You're really out and experiencing different languages, different cultures. And this is very important in terms of your undergraduate experience, learning experiences as well. You boost your self-confidence. One of the things I love seeing with students going through this experience is that sometimes you're unsure, you're very timid, you're very shy, but then once you do go through this kind of experience, students don't realize how much independence and adaptability, communications, and team building skills that they do gain through this kind of experience. You enhance your career opportunities, and not just career opportunities, also your academic opportunities as well. You get to be exposed to different universities, such as Humboldt University. You have a really sort of close connection with your professor as well, and provide very personal feedback on your work. So you will add an international perspective to your education and relate classroom study to real-world situations abroad. And last, but certainly not least, you will create lifelong friends. Because this is a small class experience, because you may be living with a roommate that you never met before, because of this kind of experience, students do really find their lifelong friends through our summer abroad programs. Now, one thing to highlight is that this is primarily an academic program. You're gaining a Y credit in 4 weeks. It is pretty intense in terms of work and expectations. Midterms are sometimes within 2 weeks. Because you are immersed into the material, because of the whole format of our program, it does make sense in terms of the pace. This is not a travel or tourism program. You're responsible for how you spend your time outside of planned academic activities. Try to be prepared to live in an environment as experienced by local students. Services and facilities are not always equivalent to what may be used in North America. Any international travel, you should be prepared to adapt to local customs and standards that may be disconcerting initially, but that ultimately will broaden your understanding and appreciation of the host country and its culture. And that's the whole point of our programs too, to be exposed and to experience something that is a bit different than what you're used to at home. So before we get to our professors, I'm just going to provide a quick program overview. 2025 will mark the 23rd year that we're offering the Berlin program. Since then, over 900 students have participated. As I mentioned, the classes will be relatively small, so it'll be up to maybe 25 students each. This summer, it will be on-site portion of our program will be from Saturday, July 19th. So that's when you check in and arrive in Berlin. And it will end on Saturday, August 16th. So exactly 4 weeks. We have 2 courses, and the typical format of our courses is from Monday to Thursday from 8:45 a.m. to 12 p.m. This can be different, but in principle, this is what you should expect in terms of lecture time. But as I mentioned, there are mandatory field trips that you must attend for these field trips, and they may overlap outside of class hours or during class hours as well. So you will get a calendar, a schedule of the field trips that you'll be participating in. Just note it sometimes will not fall under these specific dates and times. There are program activities, we'll talk about this later in the session, such as city walking tours during that first weekend, a welcome and farewell dinner, and a number of really exciting excursions that Alina and Owen, who are on-site assistants, do organize for our students, which is outside the academic component of our program. Classes will be in Humboldt University, which is located in central Berlin and very, very close to the accommodations. Accommodations will be at the hotel at NH Collection. I'll talk about this later in the session, and it's arranged by U of T. As I mentioned, the purpose of this program is primarily academic, and your experience is expected to be similar to that of a student from Germany. And just a quick, I know that Professor Gargova is going to talk more about Berlin, but just a quick, just facts about Berlin. The population is approximately 3.85 million. It has increased the last couple of years. It's the capital and largest city of Germany by both area and population. It's home to World Heritage sites and many landmarks. So lots of museums, opera houses, concert halls, orchestras, and theaters. A very vibrant art scene. This is one thing I really love about Berlin. Outdoor festivals, concerts, mix of innovative and historical architecture. 1/3 of the area of Berlin is composed of green space, so canals and lakes, and it's easily walkable and it has excellent transit. And the economy of Berlin is based on high tech and service sector. I know that Professor Posner will talk more about this. And it has a diverse range of creative industries, startup companies, research facilities, and media corporations. We're now going to get started on talking about our courses. I'm going to invite the professor to share this screen and to talk more about their courses. So I want to invite Professor Gargova to please take the floor and talk about her course, GUR 354.
So hi everyone. everyone. Nice to meet you here on the Zoom platform. My name is Gargova, and I'm an assistant professor at the Department of Germanic Languages and Literatures here at U of T. And I'll be the one teaching GER 354, Berlin Roots, Exploring Entrepreneurship and Cultural Identity in Berlin's Creative Industries. I specialize in German language, culture, and business practices with a particular focus on cross-cultural competencies. At the University of Toronto, I lead the German Business Culture program, which is primarily aimed at equipping students with the skills to navigate cultural differences and collaborate effectively in international business environments. The program is further designed to prepare students for success in diverse professional settings by enhancing their intercultural communication abilities. And this is something that will be incorporated into this course as well. My personal academic journey began in Cologne, Germany, where I earned my bachelor and master's. And then I moved to Toronto in 2007, completed my PhD here, and was hired at the German department here at U of T. I am a regular visitor in Berlin, both for work and leisure. And we're going to start right away with answering the question, why Berlin? It's a very easy question to answer, as Karen mentioned. Berlin offers something for absolutely everyone. Really, whatever you're interested and into, you'll find it in Berlin, and you'll find plenty of it. So that city really offers unparalleled cultural experiences, which are, I need to add, both accessible and very, very budget friendly, especially for international and also local students. So as mentioned before, there are over 190 museums to choose from, depending on what your interests are. There are over 150 theaters and play stages, many of which perform in English. There are 3 renowned opera houses in Berlin, and not to mention all the historical sites that you get to experience there. And then add to this mix an ever-evolving street art scene, outdoor festivals, especially in the summer, and you will realize that it's actually Berlin, that is the city that never sleeps and constantly reinvents itself, just affordable and very easy to explore and navigate due to an excellent public transportation network, which is also very affordable and you have access to. All of this is there to say that you're going to have tons of fun exploring this marvelous city on your own, on your free time, and you'll make a few core memories for sure. So Berlin is a vibe, right? That's what they say. It's extremely vibrant. It's very dynamic. There's several quarters called Kiez, which really it really depends on your interests and what you're into. You can explore. And the good thing about Berlin is, no matter how much you try, there will always be too much to see, too much to explore. So it will keep you busy for sure for the 4 weeks. Berlin is also very centrally located in Europe. So if you're interested in exploring other major European cities, the travel options are extremely affordable. So you can take that opportunity and travel to other places on the weekends. It will definitely enrich not just your experience, but your cultural and geographical understanding. And then for those of you who are interested also in German, right, this will be a great opportunity to either start learning the language a little bit or practice your skills if you bring any to Berlin. Now, a little bit closer and in more detail about the course that I will be teaching, German 354. So there are 3 main questions that we're going to focus on and aim to explore and answer in a way. So what nurtures creativity? What is creativity? And kind of what stimulates creativity in us, in humans. Then we're also going to look into how do innovation, entrepreneurship, and culture intersect. And Berlin is the place to really explore this, as it is a cultural and innovation hub in Europe. And of course, we'll take a closer look at what role do governmental policies and regulations play in all of that, in nurturing creativity and also innovation, entrepreneurship, and business. So the course will consist of mainly 3 modules, which will be spread over the 4 weeks. We're going to take a look at print, media, and publishing. right, as a sector, as a creative sector in Berlin and in Germany overall. Then the second one will focus on film and television. The third one will focus on the gaming industry. So during each module, obviously, we're going to go over a list of readings, but most importantly, we'll be spending a lot of time going on field trips and site visits, talking to people, experiencing businesses and creative hubs from within. Right? There will be a couple of visits to museums because that's going to provide us with the context, right? The historical context of those creative industries and how they developed to the point where they are today. But we're also going to take a closer look at the offices of corporations, just like Axel Springer Verlag, Die Zeit, those are one of the major German newspaper and media outlet, Deutsche Welle TV, Bufa film studios. We'll be talking to experts, we'll be talking to insiders and trying to connect our experiences, what we see, what we hear, what we learn, to the theoretical, to the readings that will accompany this class. So get ready for a really unique experience in the sense that the learning will be happening all the time. We'll be learning in the classroom, but most importantly, we'll be learning a lot outside in what I would say are going to be very hands-on experiences in meetings and workshops, and just during that 4 weeks long exploration process. So that will be from me.
Hello, everybody. This is one of the beauties of UX and experience design and software and systems and things that we all live in surrounding us. And so part of this experience, we're going to be extending our and breaking out of our comfort zone of Canada, Toronto, and taking ourselves to a new culture, a new geography, and really to become immersed in the challenges that will be faced by users, designers, and we will talk about all of that as part of this program called Designing Systems for Real World Problems. It is the 6th season of this course. I'm very excited. It started when I discovered that the University of Toronto had summer programs and they didn't have one for computer science. So I proposed it and here we are, 6th round, iterated every time the course gets better and better. And so let me tell you, why are we going to Berlin? And it's not just because the tower in Berlin is a lot like the tower in Toronto. Yeah, there is one. It looks just like it. But Berlin has so much to offer. And we are going to every year, every time. As Stefania said, it is impossible to see the whole city. Every time I go back, there's always a list of things I hadn't seen and I need to go see some more. So there's no end of exciting and adventurous things to do in Berlin. Berlin is a pretty wacky city. You get to see all kinds of interesting things. Yes, the promise of more of 200 museums, of all kinds of museums. You can see here is an example of one. But also, you can go into historical artifacts if you're interested in that space and explore museums in Berlin of those 200. We have in our field trips list, quite an extensive list, which will cover. We start off with the walking tour on the very first Sunday when you arrive in Berlin. Hopefully you're not too jet lagged. And we have great tour guides. We walk around the center, around where the university is, and see all the major sites. The Holocaust Memorial, which is right in the middle of the city, of course, the Brandenburg Gate and other important centers. We go to the Musical Instruments Museum to be inspired by the technology of music and how it relates to iterations of technology and advancement in technology and engineering, how they lead to new opportunities in music production, music composition, music performance. And so these are just some examples of the things we get to see about history of musical instruments. We get to hear some musical instruments. Then we go to the German Museum of Technology, where we will get to see an actual one-to-one scale model of the first computer from 1938. And we will be looking at some very interesting components of that mechanical device. Its input looks nothing like what we're used to today. Its output also equivalently unique and different and novel and surprising. So this is really fun. We do not have anything of this sort anywhere in Canada, so it's a really great opportunity to go and see this in Berlin. Also, in the Technology Museum, we get to see prototypes and visions of the future. So in 1783, they envisioned what flight might be like. Then we get to see real flight, examples of that. not just the past, but we're also going to look at the future. There is a Futurium Museum, which is really very interesting and exciting, where you get to see different robots, and including, this is a Paro, a Japanese robot designed to be a companion for old people. So we'll be able to actually see them and interact and touch with them and see interesting ideas of, we always hear about machine learning. There is an exhibit in the Futurium where by just looking at your face, they can try to predict how you would vote in the election. So we can discuss about all of those kinds of ideas and scientific advances, and are we going forwards or backwards, and which assumptions can we make? We will also look at real research in action at the Potsdam Hasso-Plattner Institute, and we will visit the lab there where they're actually doing real everyday research. We will get to see some of their and touch some of their research projects. These are really interesting pair of 3D elevator boots that if you're wearing a heads-up display and you're playing a game, you can simulate going up and down in space. So some really interesting ideas that they work on. 3D printing of musical instruments, among other things, we will see and maybe even try to play some. We will also visit the Volkswagen factory in Wolfsburg, in a place called Autostadt. We're going to take a train to get there. And there we will see the first automobile. You can see how the first automobile is not a huge leap of design. It really comes from a horse carriage with a little bit of an engine on the back end. And you can see the iteration. We'll talk about that, how technology evolves in small increments. And so here is our first automobile, which looks a lot like a horse buggy. And of course, we will jump far ahead and look at a current automobile production and visit the pavilions of Porsche, Audi, Passat, also Volkswagen, Seat, and a lot of the brands. Hopefully by then they will have the Bugatti rebuilt. So some really interesting pavilions where we will talk about design of pavilions, the whole concept of engagement, experience, and what would be an appropriate way to communicate and expand the brand of any particular automobile. The other reason why we go to Autostadt is because they have redefined the experience of buying an automobile. So people who buy cars in Europe, in northwestern Europe, can pick up their cars in Autostadt. They have this giant elevator and these towers where these brand new automobiles are delivered from the factory, directly from the factory. And then the new owners get to come, spend a day in Autostadt, become trained in their new automobile, and see their car delivered. We will see this live. We will see some models of future automobiles. We'll get to try some simulations and also visit the Science Center, Fenno, very famous architectural building, which you can see here is the vision for that building. And we'll talk about how do we go from concept to actual output. And that's actually what we're going to do in this class, is we're actually going to go and pick a problem. You're going to pick a problem. You're going to pick a group and you're going to iterate the problem throughout the whole course. It is a full credit, which is very unusual for computer science. And so in order to make this a full credit, computer science has agreed to give a half a credit, which every computer course gets, but also a half a credit in the arts and science space. So you will get a full year credit course with a half of it being in computer science. This is how they accommodate the idea of a full year course, which they've never actually had before. So this is a very unusual kind of course. If you look at the website, you can see all the details about the course. And also you will see there a syllabus. The syllabus at the very top has a warning. This is not a typical computer science course. There will be a lot of written work and group work. If you want to learn about user experience from somebody who's been doing it for over 30 years, that's me, teaching it for over 30 years, this is a really great course. We're going to do it hands-on. We're going to do it iteratively. You're going to learn a lot and you're going to build something that you're going to be proud of. If you want a vacation and an easy time, don't come. If you want to have a vacation before you go to Germany, have a week or something before in Europe or after. But if you think you're going to have a vacation during the course, it's really not a vacation kind of experience. As Karen said earlier, it is an academic experience and University of Toronto does not give out credits so easily. So you're going to have to work, but it's going to be a really rewarding kind of work. The schedule is already up. You will see that there's a lot of presentations, a lot of hands-on work. There's a lot of field trips, and we will start before we get to Berlin. This is our Berlin. July 20th is when we arrive in Berlin. But before that, we actually get to do a lot of the pre-work. We will have our first meeting on the 5th of May, and it'll be all remote. So if you have plans to travel right after your exams are done, you could do that. And then do everything remotely until we get to Berlin on July 20th. And when we will spend 4 weeks, very intense weeks together. This course is designed so that you have 50% of your grade individual and 50% is group. And that way we try to make sure there's a very, very careful balance of the work, and nobody who decides they're just going to have a vacation doesn't get the benefit of the work of their colleagues in the group who are doing, slaving away. So everybody gets the fair earnings of their, but we will do the one meeting remotely for the whole team, for the whole class. And then we will do one-on-one meeting with me and each of the groups before you go to Berlin, just when you're finalizing your topic and getting sort of narrowing in on your space that you're going to be working on. So this happens before. This is all done on Zoom. And then we get to Berlin and we hit the road running, literally running. Berlin, we are in the middle of the downtown of Berlin. There's a lot of fun in the same time. I'm not really trying to scare you. Yes, there's a lot of work, but also there's a lot of fun. Fun in Berlin, fun in the class, fun with your classmates. Together, we get to do a lot of really interesting and enjoyable things. We work, but also we have a lot of fun. And so if you want to learn user experience, you want to work in groups, you want to design a really robust system that you will be proud to talk about in your work interviews. Many of our students go off and actually get jobs based on the work they have done in this course. They're building prototypes, showing that work, having a portfolio piece out of this course. You can see Germany and have a good time. If that's the case, come and you can see the testimonials of the other students from previous years. They're available on this URL. You can see these are across the different years and places where the students have gone. Some of them have gone to graduate school. Some of them have gone to professional lives. And the important part is very often the groups are formed and they're very tight and they continue on to be very close friends way after the course, and they continue to meet. And so you get the resources about the course. Your applications close in February. Your course details are available online. And the very important part is that there's a lot of support, financial support for students who want to apply. So don't be afraid. Look at the resources and come to Germany. We're going to have a really interesting summer and learn a ton. I'm looking forward to meeting some of you who put your thumbs up in the chat. So that's the information. Come abroad, Summer Abroad 2025, season 6. I hope to see you there.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm so excited about this year for Germany. It sounds like a really good lineup. Thank you so much, both professors, for sharing all the information about your courses. So I'm going to continue on in terms of program information. As I mentioned, our classrooms are going to be in Humboldt University. It's walking distance from the hotel if you do choose to stay at the hotel provided by U of T, and it's very close to public transportation. Alina can allude to this as well. It's very close. So we're going to have 2 classrooms based at Humboldt University. Unfortunately, we don't have as much access to all the resources such as libraries at Humboldt, but the canteen, the areas around the campus, we certainly have access to. As I mentioned, we have on-site staff available to students during regular office hours. They will have office hours. They will be around. Alina and Owen are available through emergency contacts, emergencies, of course, 24 hours. There are also our main liaisons with our office, faculty, as well as Humboldt University when you're there. So they hold a very, very important role during the program. We also have program activities such as welcome dinners at a local restaurant. We have a walking tour of Berlin during that first Sunday, orientation of the facilities, classrooms, and transit. So during that first weekend, while you're getting through your jet lag, our on-site staff will be busy trying to orient yourself within the city. Social activities organized by the on-site coordinator and farewell dinner. Alina, just briefly talk about your role as well as some of the optional trips that you did offer last summer.
Owen and I are the emergency faculty contacts. Basically, the on-site staff is there to provide support to you in any non-academic manner. So we're kind of in charge of helping you settle in for the first weekend and the first week. Obviously, you're going to have classes with your professors. Anything outside of that space is up to us. So we're going to be helping you settle into your hotels, checking in, transport passes, really important, phone numbers, et cetera, et cetera. Everything that really needs to be done in the first weekend or the first week. We will be there as your kind of liaison between the office and the professors and Berlin itself. So we're kind of just there for anything else that you can't really seem to figure out yourself. So usually what happens is we're kind of guiding you through the first week. And then by the end of the program, usually students are very, very independent. And Berlin is a really good place to be independent. Everything is at your fingertips, basically. As the professors have mentioned, public transport, very easy. We will help you through that in the first couple days. So we also do a lot of field trips, which are non-academic. So if you look, when you get your calendar and you look through your trips for the actual class, there's a lot going on. So it's going to be a lot of moving around, a lot of outside of class time as well. But we will offer optional field trips, which are totally disconnected from your academics. So it's not mandatory or anything, but it's kind of there to help you get to know other people and see the city a little bit more. So for example, one of the field trips that we do is to the flea market, which is a very kind of local, it's at a local park. There's music, there's crafts, a lot of fun going on, and it's on a Sunday. And it's basically the whole day. So we usually do that at the start. You can get your shopping done, your souvenirs, anything else that you want to get there. There's a lot of fun stuff. There's a lot of cool little trinkets there. So we'll take you through that. And this is one of our first field trips. And then one field trip I do want to flag out is at the end of the program, we take a trip to Poland. It may seem daunting, but Poland is only an hour away from Berlin. We take a train for an hour east and we cross the border walking. It's really odd sometimes to see the faces on these local Polish people who are seeing an entire group of foreign students just walk over the border, come in, see what's going on and leave. So it's a little town at the edge of the border. So if you want to just come by for a day trip, Poland is really popular amongst our students. So those are some examples of field trips that I can talk about, but we do a lot more than this. And sometimes they're really spontaneous. Ilona talked about Pride happening in the first weekend. So it's very spontaneous. You might, find a party, you might find other things to do. Berlin is a crazy city, but it's also where you can do a lot of things. That's really about it for my role.
Thanks so much, Alina. So accommodations, and there's more information on our website as well. For the third year in a row, we're very fortunate to have accommodations at a hotel that's very centrally located. It's at the Hotel NH Collection, Berlin Mitte M Checkpoint Charlie, central location and located close to public transportation. You're going to be situated in double rooms unless you did pay for a single room. It has clean, very modern amenities, including Wi-Fi. It's a 10-minute or even less than 10-minute walk to class. Very convenient because it's centrally located. It is close to city attractions, shopping areas, restaurants, cafes, markets, and shops. Breakfast is included. A very good breakfast is included if you do stay in the hotel accommodations. But because other snacks, lunches, dinners aren't, we do suggest that you budget approximately 650 Canadian dollars for the other meals. Now, there's no kitchen, unfortunately, in these hotels, so most of them will have to be pre-prepared. Some students go to the canteen. Keep that in mind in terms of the budgeting. Rooms are air conditioned. You have a kettle, coffee. There's a coffee machine for breakfast and also a gym. You can request roommates if you want. So if you have a friend that has been admitted to the program, doesn't necessarily have to be the same course. You could request each other to be roommates. We do assign roommates as well. And note that sometimes students may have to pay a deposit as you arrive at the hotel, but we're going to give you more information if you are admitted to the program. So this is the lobby of the hotel, really nice modern amenities and modern rooms. Again, if you want more information, the website, you can also go to our website for the direct link. And I did try to give you sort of like an outline of where we are. And as you could see, it's a very close walk to class, but you're also very centrally located and very close to Benberg Gate and subway stops. So again, it is not a remote location. You're going to be surrounded by a lot of restaurants. It's very convenient in terms of location. Now getting there, post-COVID, we haven't been offering group flights. So you're responsible for booking your own travel plans. Lots of students like to travel within Europe, They get their Schengen visa and they want to go around the EU first. Just as long as that you check in and you go to class during the dates that you're expected to, that's certainly fine. We're going to give you guidance in terms of maybe a recommended flight, how to get to the hotel from the airport, which is quite easy. But just note there's no group flight. But because of that, you could start shopping and seeing the prices of how much flights would cost from Toronto or any place that you're taking off from. So as I mentioned, we will provide information on suggested flight itinerary, and travel from Berlin airport to the hotel is very straightforward as well. Unlike other destinations like Siena, Italy, Berlin is quite central and it's pretty easy in terms of options of transportation. Now I'm going to invite Aliya, who was a student of the Germany program last summer, to talk about her experience with the program.
Hi, last summer I took Paul 300 in Berlin. The learning experience for me was really impactful because the small class size created a really collaborative environment. And with our various field trips, I had the chance to really immerse myself with the topics and the concepts that we were discussing in class. It was really interesting to see how certain theories and concepts could manifest in our real world. And again, because of the small class size and the fact that we were all kind of living together, it was really easy to make a lot of close friends. And because we're all U of T students, it has also been really easy to keep in touch with a lot of those friends now that we're back in Toronto. And I know that it was mentioned earlier that the summer abroad courses are more intensive. And while that is true, you still have that opportunity to explore and immerse yourself in your surroundings. And I think Berlin is such an amazing city to be able to do that in. Outside of the academic experience, I had so many highlights. I loved how accessible the public transportation was. It made it really easy to explore the city and get around. And like Professor Gargova had mentioned earlier, Berlin has such a unique history and culture. And it was really cool to see all those amazing street arts, concerts, different markets, restaurants, museums, etc. As well as Professor Gargova had mentioned earlier, Berlin is such a central location in Europe. It's really easy to travel to other major cities. I had the opportunity to go to Amsterdam, Prague, Budapest, and then part of the program, I also got to go to Brussels and Antwerp. So you do get to see a lot of other areas as well. And you can also explore a lot of other cities in Germany. Overall, my experience with summer abroad was really fun and memorable. I got to earn a full year credit in just 4 weeks while studying something that really interested me and getting to explore a new city and make amazing new friends too.
Thank you for sharing your experiences. So in terms of who's eligible to apply and to take this course, so U of T students must be in good academic standing. So basically you can't be on probation. If you have completed one or more courses, you must have a CGPA of 1.75 at the time of application. But depending on the prerequisites of the course that you're interested in, first year students may, with no final grades, may be eligible to apply for certain courses. Now, not for computer science, but maybe for German studies or for other courses that are offered through summer abroad. U of T students in a professional faculty or graduate program, U of T alumni or non-degree students are also open to apply for our programs and our courses. However, current undergraduate U of T students will take priority. If you have any friends from other North American universities who are interested in possibly taking this course, they would be considered visiting students. And just as long as we get a letter of permission from their host institution, they are also welcome to apply for our programs as well. Undergraduate U of T students take priority, but every year we do have students who are not current undergraduate students or visiting students who do take our programs as well. So in terms of how to apply, applications are now open. And the deadline for this program is February 3rd at 4:00 p.m. So you still have time to make an informed decision, to set up an appointment with us. Just as long as you submit everything that's needed by February 3rd, you're in good shape. Now, you need to also pay a $210 application fee. Now, this is for each program. There's a separate application fee for each program. So say you're interested in taking the South Korea program as well as Germany, that's 2 separate applications and 2 separate application fees. You could apply to up to 2 summer abroad programs. Now, it's very rare, but since we are offering 2 courses in Germany, you could also pick the other course as a second choice. Not mandatory, but if you do fit the prerequisites, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Students who apply to summer abroad program and are not admitted will receive a $100 refund of their application fee. So in terms of how we make selections, it's not on a first come, first served basis, and it's done on a sort of holistic assessment. We look at your academic records. So you don't have to send us your transcript. We have access to that. And we specifically look at your last 12 months of study. We also take a look at your relevance of the course of the program. So there is a free text section that allows you to further explain like your background in computer science or your background in maybe German studies or something related. So we take a look at that as well. We take a look at personal statements. So we have 2 personal statements as part of the summer abroad application. Why have you selected this particular course, and how would this course align with your academic and personal goals? This is also in benefit for you too, to make sure that you're making an informed decision and you've really thought out of how this course and how this program will suit your academic plans. Now, what's new to our application is an online recorded video. There is a really great instructional video on our website, and I really encourage you to take a look at the video for more information. So basically, when you are done the first portion of our application, you will get a notification from us with a specific link to an online recorded video. It is going to, you could have practice sessions, but it will only take a very short time for you to answer these questions. Again, our office is just taking more of a holistic view and approach in terms of our selection criteria. And so you want to make sure that all these components are submitted by February 3rd. More information is on our website, but please feel free to set up an appointment or email us if you have any questions in regards to our application process. So when you do create a profile, you will be taken to the specific Germany program application. And this is basically what it looks like. So you make sure that you go through all of the sections, pay your application fee, and once you submit your application, you'll get notification in regards to more information about the recorded online video. So admission decisions, once you do apply, we will work very hard in terms of assessing all the applications. Our goal for Germany is that our decisions will be sent by late February, early March. Admissions for all our programs is conditional upon the government of Canada allowing travel outside of Canada. So obviously, if there are any kind of warnings or any kind of announcements through government of Canada, we will follow suit in terms of their recommendations. If we do offer you a spot and you do accept, you have 1 week to confirm your participation by paying a non-refundable $1,000 deposit. If you decline an offer, you will not get your application fee back. The remaining fees for this particular program is due April 9th. Before I get to the costs, just a few notes about accessibility abroad while you are applying for the program. If you require accommodations such as extra time to complete assignments, adaptive technology, barrier-free environment, sign language interpreters, etc., you should register with your campus's accessibility services office so that an accommodation can be placed for your course. A letter of accommodation, if needed, must be uploaded to the application within 7 days after being admitted into the summer abroad program. Note that the range of accommodations at Humboldt University may be different from U of T. So we cannot guarantee that sites will be able to offer all the accommodations that are available at U of T or whatever you're used to here on campus. Students are strongly encouraged to contact our office as early as possible to discuss which sites might best suit their needs so that we may provide the best possible student experience. So in terms of costs, and you could get this from our website, this is really a ballpark figure, and we want to be very transparent in what you should be budgeting for a program such as this. First section is fees paid to U of T. And basically, most of these line items are paid via the Summer Abroad portal, not Quarkus or not Rosie. So application fee, the course fee, field trip fee, which is the same for both courses, as well as accommodation. That is paid through Summer Abroad portal. The only thing that in this section that is paid separately is your incidental fees. This is a U of T course. Students are expected to pay an incidental fee, just as you do for any other course on campus. Now, the additional costs that we do add here is really reliant, it's not sort of like solid figures, it's really reliant on how much you plan to spend on each line item. So for instance, there's airfare, it could be cheaper or more expensive, but as of December 2024, the average cost for a round trip from Toronto to Berlin. Additional costs of airfare, meals, and local transportation are recommended. However, a lot of the field trips and maybe your personal trips too does depend on having a monthly pass in Germany. So we do really recommend to budget for that as well. So the approximate cost for domestic students is just over $10,000 total, and for international students is over $11,000. So all of this is on our website if you want to take a look at it in more detail. In terms of financial aid for summer abroad, we do offer, especially for this program, quite a bit of financial aid if you are eligible for it. So if you do follow the prompts and you do fit the award criteria, you could complete an award application through the Summer Abroad portal. And once you do, you will be considered for all the awards that our office administers. So there's only one application for financial aid. You'll be considered for a Summer Abroad award. Funding is open to domestic U of T students based on financial need. Award amounts vary based on demonstrated financial need and destination. Should you be selected for an award, the amount will be applied towards the cost of the program. And so it'll be shown on your invoice. And awards range from $2,500 to $7,000 depending on the program. As well, we offer EDIA Summer Abroad Awards at $5,000. So if you actually complete our award application, you'll also be considered for this award. So in terms of criteria, you have to be a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or protected person, a current U of T undergraduate student. You must complete at least 4.0 U of T credits by last December 2024, CGPA of at least 2.25. Some awards require a higher academic average, and you must have documented financial needs. So OSAP statement, bank loans, maybe copies of your parents' tax assessments. Some kind of evidence of government assistance or bank assistance is needed in order to apply for this award. Now, very specific to the German program is the Joint Initiative in German and European Studies, or what we like to call JIGS. JIGS awards, we're very fortunate to have them, and they do offer quite substantial awards for students who are enrolled specifically in the German studies course. So applications embedded in the summer abroad application, just like our summer abroad awards, if you do complete the application, you'll also be eligible to apply for this award as well. The award for JIGS awards is up to $6,000, and preference will be given to students enrolled in a program in German or European studies on the St. George campus. So it's the same award criteria as our summer abroad awards. You have to be a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or protected person, current arts and science, specifically arts and science for this award, undergraduate student, complete at least 4.0 U of T credits, and have a CGPA of at least 2.25, and also documented financial need. And lastly, we have a few merit-based awards for domestic students. You could apply for this after you submitted your application, and the application for merit-based award is also available through our portal. So we have limited a number of awards. As we may receive more applications than funds available, will be assessed on the overall quality of your application. If granted, the value of the awards will cover only a portion of the costs you incur participating in this program. So the award criteria for merit awards is that you have to be a current U of T undergraduate student, completed at least 4.0 U of T credits by last December 2024, and have at least a CGPA of 2.25. However, because this is merit-based, I would say the higher your CGPA, the better. So in terms of finances, you want to make sure that you start budgeting now. The final payments will be due on April 9th for this program, but you also want to check with your registrar's office, Faculty of Arts and Science, and other departments for other possible travel awards and bursaries. If you're eligible for OSAP, because it's a summer course, you could also apply for OSAP for assistance, but please note that you cannot defer the payments. Our deadlines are much earlier than when you usually get funding from OSAP, so please keep that in mind. I highly, highly encourage you to also look into the IE Plus Awards, which is hosted by the Center for International Experience. They do offer quite a bit of funding for people who are admitted to our programs, for domestic as well as for international students. So in terms of visas and insurance, please note that you're responsible for arranging your own visa if necessary, supporting documents provided by U of T. So if you need a supporting document from our office once you're admitted to the program, we're happy to do that. For Germany, Canadian citizens require your passport valid for 6 months beyond return date. International students must check with the embassy or consulate for any any kind of entry requirements. Summer Abroad provides supporting documentation, as I mentioned. We do recommend that you apply for any visas in Toronto, so we can help you a bit more in terms of any kind of assistance. Review terms and conditions of travel, health, and flight insurance, and also to look into cancellation insurance as well. In terms of EDIA Resources, we do have a great section on our website in terms of providing resources through EDIA for students, for different types of communities, for our student communities as well, which are listed over here. In terms of equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility resources for our student communities, we have a whole vast of resources on our website. And which is really new, we also have site-specific EDIA resources. I have a screenshot at the bottom there of EDIA resources specifically for Germany. This is really great to read through while you're considering applying for this program, because it does tell you different types of information in regards to EDIA specifically in Berlin and Germany. So all these resources are there. And if you have any questions in terms of EDIA, we do have a dedicated coordinator, Wednesday. You could set up an appointment and talk to her more about the program, the resources that we do list, as well as your accommodation needs. And in terms of timeline, to apply for the program is February 3rd, 2025 at 4 p.m. If you're interested in other programs such as Paris, South Africa, and Science Abroad, we have an earlier deadline, which is next week, January 15th. Once you do apply, your job is done. Keep your eye out on your email for admission notifications. Late February, you should be able to hear back from us. The same day, you will receive notification of acceptance to the program, as well as whether or not you received an award through our office. So please keep an eye on your inbox after you have applied. 1 week after admission notification, you pay $1,000 deposit to confirm your spot. And then from March to April, that's when you pay your remaining fees and attend a pre-departure orientation where you get to meet your fellow classmates, your profs, as well as attend some sessions in terms of safety. We try to prepare you as much as we can as you prepare for your trip. And of course, July, August is when you take off. We do encourage you to follow us on Instagram at U of T Abroad. You can take a look at important deadlines as well as announcements through our office, but more importantly, you could scroll back and live vicariously through our student participants such as Aliya, and they share their experiences while they were abroad. So this is a great way to actually see how students experienced different programs last summer. And that's about it. If you want more information, we still have information sessions. Take a look at our section through our website. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to our monthly e-newsletter, which is called The Summary. Book a virtual appointment with a summer abroad advisor. You could do that through our website. January is a very important month in terms of making this decision and application, so please feel free to do so. Join Discord. Our summer abroad ambassadors have dedicated dates and times where you could just drop in and talk with past student participants. And you could also email us and call us if you have any specific questions for us. Thank you so much for attending this session. Thank you to the professors, for Alina as well as Aliya, for sharing their experiences and advice. If you have any questions for us, please feel free to email us and to set an appointment as well. We certainly hope that you do consider the Germany program, and we hope to see some of you in Berlin this summer. Thanks very much.